All right, we are in progress on Play It Forward with Savannah Sivert and Taylor Hinds, filmmakers, co-directors of The Tale of the Daughter, a wonderful film that I really enjoyed. Guys, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Would
absolutely.
you guys like to set up the film in any way, introduce yourselves prior to starting with the three questions?
Sure. Who wants to do the log line? You're up.
So
Who
the tale of
spoke
the daughter.
first?
Yeah.
The tale of the daughter is about a daughter returning home to be a caretaker for her mom who's recently had a stroke. And they're trying to figure out their differences when a loan shark arrives.
Mhm.
And they need to work together in order to survive.
It's a really well executed film. It's, dramatically a very broad range, comedy, drama, serious, suspense. You guys really covered a lot of ground in that 20-minute film. The first question to Play It Forward, that germinal idea before it was even a thought in your bodies or minds, where did that come from to birth this movie?
Well, our the star of the film, Jaslyn Yoder, is our co-writer, and she's an executive producer on the film as well. She came to us with a seed idea of the role reversal that takes place between a daughter and a mother in a caretaking situation, and we are a bit zanier as well. And she kind of came to us knowing that we would like to do something a little bit not straight drama, and we were also desperate to shoot our first action scene, so we kind of asked the question, what if a loan shark showed up, and how would that situation transpire between the two of them? And it just blew up from there and kept getting weirder and weirder.
Got it. Okay, so that's definitely one layer. That's like, okay, here's this kind of like very logistic process that came together. Somebody came to you, and then like the inspiration and where you kind of, because for anything that you create, you really, there's got to be something that you're like, okay, I get this. Here's my way into this work. This is how I can get it and make it and blow it up. So whether it's kind of like reflecting on, okay, the loan shark. All right, you guys, your zaniness. What is it like about that? Maybe that might be a clue into your psyches to let us, understand you better as creators. Like, why loan shark? Why zany? How does that give you the segue into the creative experience?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like,
Oh, go ahead.
sorry.
Okay.
A lot of you can always go back to our influences with those types of things. We were making more dramatic work before, and it just wasn't feeling like actually us. Like we liked the stories and everything, but it wasn't necessarily feeling like a way to portray our voice. And when we started thinking about who we are, it kind of goes back to who inspires us. And we weren't so much reflecting the people that we're obsessed with, like Wes Anderson, Greta Gerwig, Quentin Tarantino, obviously Taika Waititi. And as far as like the personal insight into the character of the daughter, things really started hooking where it was like, okay, this is us. When we realized that when we first started the film, she wasn't going to be a queer character. We weren't really going to get into that aspect of her life, like how she is romantic. We just weren't going to say anything. And it became a really personal story when we all kind of came together and were like, no, I think this is also something between the mother and the daughter, that there has to be a mutual acceptance between the two, basically, because parents are never like who we think they are. They turn out to just be human, and children are never who their parents plan them to grow up to be. And so there's this universal reckoning between parent and child, that, okay, so this is who you are. Is that still okay with me? And at the end of the day, yeah, it has to be.
I think the loan shark plays really nicely into that, like this, like kind of like outside of society type of person, coming in as the antagonistic force amidst this like lack of acceptance. He's like the perfect character to kind of shake up their dynamic because he never is like going by the rule book. So it kind of reflects our hero in that kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
I love that for a lot of different reasons. Least of which, but it's on the storyline level, it's a very, a powerful thing. When you mentioned the loan shark kind of is a foil to the main character. However, he's a foil in the way that the main character may also be out of the norm of society or the conventional standards. However, she's responsible and she's a role model. He is not. So that's an interesting little juxtaposition you got going there. But the reason I really, love what you say, as young artists or growing up or, learning the craft, it's always like, find your voice, find your voice. Well, why? Authenticity, right? To believability. So you can craft something that somebody else could be like, whoa, that's a world. That's, I believe that. So in the process of you doing that, creating that queer character that you guys can relate to, it's so powerful because not only does it make her believable, but it makes the movie. And it makes the movie because it sets up the drama between what's going on for the mother is a reflection of what's going on for the child. They both have to come to the same thing, acceptance, the theme, right? They both have to come to that. And can they do it? Because there's things they both disagree with what choices they've made with their lives. And yet there's that love. And are they going to find that? If you are, you got to hit the wall of acceptance to get through it and go beyond. So that makes the movie. I mean, that's really the takeaway. You go from that, and the hijinks and shenanigans aside, that's the entertainment part. That's what you're left with, right? After, so it's amazing, when just the part of art. I think filmmaking is such a financial endeavor, and it's such a huge business that people forget, I think, often about the art of the craft, the art, and the story. And that is, the most important thing, at least in my opinion.
The human connection.
Yeah.
It's really fun to watch this stuff, but it can be kind of forgettable if you're not feeling deeply about what's happening.
Yeah.
Like it's like a really great action scene in a huge movie, but it's like, what was that guy's name? What's he trying to do? It's like the set piece is incredible, but it's kind of like in one ear and out the other because you have that emotional stake in it. And so it's like so vital to try and hook people into caring. About
It's exactly. I mean, it's a difference between, candy and a meal and, giving a person a fish and teaching them how to fish, that to reckon with that, like, okay, how can I improve my life based on what I've seen and the catharsis that I may have experienced through this movie? So the second question of Play It Forward is really, I'll be honest with you guys, I've couched it in something that's more acceptable to artists. I used to say, well, what's the message of the movie as a viewer? And lately, and maybe it's my own projection that started making it happen, because I did admit, I've been interviewing, we're getting around 100, maybe over, and yeah, it's been a lot. And I would say, what's the message? And a lot of people are cool. And then I started getting self-conscious about it. And then I noticed people are like, well, I don't want to tell the message, meaning of my movie. You know what I mean? So the statement, whatever you guys can relate to, the statement of the movie as viewers, as you guys consuming this thing, taking yourselves out of it, what's the takeaway? And perhaps we already touched upon it, likely.
Probably the mutual acceptance between a parent and a child. I mean, the thing we kind of realized when we were really digging in deep with the action things, like you like script something and then you like dig deeper and deeper, and before you shoot, you're like, okay, this is actually what it means. And I felt like that scene was about the hell that you can go through finding your way back to each other. And it's and again, I'm sure it's different for everybody, and that's why it's you do it through a movie, because it's like it can be translated so many different ways. But we're a little obsessed with taking characters that are queer, or any character that's underrepresented, and normalizing and universalizing them.
Let's make it happen.
Just force the fake word out of my mouth. But just because that mutual acceptance can be in any way, and we chose a queer avenue. But if I can talk to my mother about her mother, my grandmother, and they had to contend with this as well at some point in their lives, and because you're just kind of thrown together, who knows if you have similar personalities,
Right.
And but no matter how different you are, there's just like a familial bond that's not like replicated in other ways. Like this person brought you into the world, and for better or for worse, this is what you are.
Savannah, would you like to
I was just
add
gonna
anything to
say,
that?
I think that like conflicts within family can be so polarizing, and like we just love the idea of like, what if a loan shark shook up your guys' relationship? What if that made you guys, put down this wall and this facade or this, attitude of how I'm dealing with it? And what if it forced you to decide what really matters?
Almost like a common enemy bringing you together.
Yeah. Can we get on the same page about one thing? And then where do we go from there? Like, it is actually more open than you realize.
Can hating the same thing make us love each other more?
Well, you know what? Guys, I think that's true. The enemy of my enemy is my friend or whatever. But
Yeah.
I think it's even deeper than that, reflected in your movie. And what I see that you guys did is that how far those bonds carry through. She risks her life to save her mother's life, right? She takes repeated blows to the face, and she saves her mom, right? And that's what, to me, awakened her mom to like, wait, what's important,
Absolutely.
Yeah, both of the points that you guys made are really critical. And I think, Taylor, the thing that I really resonated with what you said about, it takes work, the pain that you have to go through, it takes work, right? And I've often recently thought about several times, like, if you come into a discussion thinking you're right, you're not going to get anywhere. You know what I mean? There's no compromise. So it takes work to get to the point where you can listen. So it's a beautiful moral, and I think it's an important one. Last question: how have your lives changed personally since making this film?
Wow, yeah, a lot actually. This has probably been the most one of the most life-changing experiences ever. I mean, I felt like, for me personally, this is like our first. Savannah has more directing experience than I do, and so going into this, it's kind of been like it's been very eye-opening and like humbling, but also making me feel like I can continue to go forward and do this, and that the bold choices, no matter how scary they are the best ones. And it's like, just to double down on yourself and like, this is an idea. I have this idea. It's worth doing. I don't know if anybody else is going to have it. It's just go for it. And we've had a lot of fun in the festival arena, and meeting all these new filmmakers who are incredibly supportive and insightful, and like making us learn more about our film that we made. It's like, it's just been absolutely incredible. And we're adapting it to a feature right now. So that is very exciting and continuing to change our life. And it's brought us a lot of opportunity, but also just like so much fun. It's a ton of fun.
Awesome, Taylor.
Yeah, I think piggybacking off what you're saying, like, we wrote this during the first couple months of the pandemic when we didn't even know when we'd be able to shoot it. And like, we just had fun with it and we enjoyed it. And it's like, I feel like what it's been able to give back to us, I'm just so grateful for. And it's really like hammered it down for me that like, enjoy your work, and like what you want to see on the screen, like bring that to life, and like guard it and protect it, and like invite others to join you. But like, this is the work. It doesn't need to be like, your voice is something that makes you laugh, and like something that you would enjoy, and you get to share it. And it's just like, it's just been a really beautiful experience, honestly.
And like, at the end of the day, the dream is doing the work, like not the accolades, like not getting a contract. The dream is getting to make your movie, and however it gets done, it doesn't matter. You're already living the dream because you're already making your movie. And it's been bringing that to us. It's been a great mindset shift.
Those are two huge things to have in your consciousness to act from. Those are two huge maturity points, and to come to the place where, like, I don't need anybody to legitimize me, as long as I can do what I'm doing and I'm enjoying it, and seemingly others are, and they are. What else is there? That's it.
Yeah.
Truly, yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for being on the show. Savannah Sivert, Taylor Hinds. Did I do Sivert okay?
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. All right. The film is The Tailor's Daughter. Pleasure to have you guys on this show. Thank you so much. Keep us posted on more work, and we'd love to see it and share it.
Thank you so much. Thanks for all you do. We appreciate it.
Thank you. It really means a lot. All right, everybody, play it forward. We're out. Peace. Till next time.